कन्यामनोविष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स पदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां साधना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनाश्रयितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् साधना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे महावदन्याय प्रेमपदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने वक्तये नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता श्री राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च वासन्तुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Yes, Hare Krishna. Am I audible, right?
Yes, Vin.
Okay. We were there in 14th chapter. Yes. The three modes of material nature. So our discussion began with the how this 14th chapter came. है So this comes from the Bija Vakya, which has been spoken, Bija Vakya of Bhagavad Gita, which has been spoken in 13th chapter. है ना? और कहते हैं पुरुष स्तो ही तो that shloka karanam guna sangasya sad asad yoni janmasu. So there this sentence comes karanam guna sangasya. है ना? So where a jiva, when he has a desire to enjoy this material world, then he comes in contact with the modes of material nature. है ना? The modes of material nature become, these all modes are like the watering to the that seed. What is the seed? Bhungate. What is the meaning of bhungte? Means enjoying mentality. That enjoying mentality get nourished by the three modes of material nature. So now when 14th chapter is beginning, where Krishna first glorify this knowledge in the first two slokas, and then third and fourth sloka, then he talks about how the soul contacts the matter. Now today we will see that how the modes bind the soul. And the soul which is eternal, which is the part and parcel of the Lord, how that uh, part and parcel of the Lord, the spiritual spark get bind by the modes of material nature. So let us begin directly with the sloka number 5. So the soul, which is the part and parcel of the Lord, so Krishna says that I am the seed-giving father. It means he is the father of all living entities. He is the uh, giving he to all living entities in that sense. So now, further, how that great soul get captivated by the three modes has been explained in the sloka number 5 onwards. Sattvam rajas tamas iti guna prakati sambhava nibadhananti mahabhao देहे देहे निम अव्ययम. Yes, some devotee can read.
Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes.
Hmm. So eternal. So here the mention the eternal living entity comes in the context. है ना? The living entity, which has been the glories of the living entity, has been given in the previous verses. Then that sarva yonesu kaunteya murteya samavantya tasam brahma yad madhyone kam bija tadapita. He is the son of that supreme Lord. But that living entity is coming into the contact of material nature and get conditioned by three modes. है ना? So, however, the living entity is eternal. Some of my notes are some got some problem into it. The dots are coming everywhere. 10 minutes before only some problem came, and I could not resolve them. But we have to just uh, we have to read in line only. For we have to forget about these dots in between coming. However, the
So
living
you can go to
entities,
home.
huh?
You can
Anybody?
go to yes, Prabhu. You can go to home, and there will be a button like P.
Where should I go?
Home, Prabhuji. Home.
Okay. What is the button?
Inverted P button. Yeah, Prabhuji. At where it normal status is written, so you can see inverted A to Z is there, and one inverted P, like laterally inverted P button is there. Yes,
Prabhuji
yes,
in paragraph section.
yes,
Ah,
yes,
right.
Prabhuji. Yes, click this. Yes.
Okay. Now it's all right, na? Let me see. Ah, thank you. We, for everything we need guru. Thank you, Prem. So this is hmm, however the living entity is eternal. Uh, the great powerful living entity get bound by the material nature. Why? What is the cause? The bhungate, the desire to enjoy. Yeah, right? But we'll see that those are the pure devotees of the Lord. Their only desire is that they want to serve, and that's how they get freed from three modes of material nature. So yesterday here, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was giving class. So Maharaj telling uh, that somebody asked, Maharaj started telling that my in my 2008 onwards, 2008 I got the stroke, and after that lot of health issues in the sense of kidney transplantation and then heart and other things also. The bodily so much things are coming up. So Maharaj telling that these all things are trying to stop me, but I cannot stop. I want to continue the service, the enthusiasm. And then Maharaj, I had almost 3 to 4 lectures of Maharaj in last 10 days. Every lecture, one thing was constant. And what was that? That please practice this Krishna consciousness with the great enthusiasm. So that's why very very important this to understand, and that we serve the Lord with the enthusiasm. And here we can see that how pure devotees. And so their only desire is that they want to serve. They don't get uh, uh, they don't get they don't stop what we say their service to the Guru and Krishna by the other things of this world. Right? So we can see here that generally the living entity he get bound by the material nature. The pure devotees of the Lord they don't get bound. Right? They get completely unaffected by the three modes of material nature. Yesterday, let me just say one two things so that the interest can begin for this topic. We all can have more interest about this topic. What is that? Yesterday, when Maharaj was giving class, so some devotees were asking questions. So Maharaj was giving answers from where 1969 Prabhupada told to one devotee like this. 1973 Prabhupada told like this to another devotee like this. So I was thinking, my God, in such bodily condition, first of all, how is he able to remember so much detail? Until unless a personality is beyond the three modes of material nature, very difficult. So my seeing that thing, my faith increased so much actually. Actually, we need to see, you know, there are people who are beyond the modes here, unaffected by the three modes. And when he was addressing all the Utkarsha students, so they were the 1,000 devotees were there, Utkarsha and seniors. So Maharaj was addressing to all these devotees. And so Maharaj told that my father, I wrote a letter to my father and told that I have got a very good path and I'm joining this path. My father wrote me immediately that come back, join American army, and better is to die in Vietnam War. So then Maharaj went to Srila Prabhupada and told to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, my father is telling like this. Prabhupada said, "Srila, so you are already there in Krishna's army. Why to join in American army? So Maharaj given up that idea and immediately Maharaj then continued his service. So we can, and then Maharaj telling that Prabhupada told him when he was at the age of 21, Prabhupada told him that, okay, uh, and that I wanted to give you sannyas. So Maharaj told, it sounded very nice. And I took the sannyas. Yeah. And then Maharaj telling that from that day onwards, he's serving in the different places all over the world, going to the uh, Indian. I think many of the airlines they have given the best, the highest traveling award, is the maximum travel. And, so, sis, and so much Maharaj would travel. Actually, before his getting the stroke, he would travel every year 5 to 6 times to the whole world. And he was circumvent the whole globe 5 to 6 times in a year. And now 1 to 2 times after the stroke. Until unless a person is not bound, is above the modes, very difficult. So we see that powerful living entity get captivated by the modes of material nature. Now let us come to this thing. So are these modes are things or a concept? Are you getting the point? These are modes, they really exist or this is just a concept? So actually, these modes are, they are not a concept. Like when we are understanding about the modes, they are not a concept, but they are actually existing. It means it is there. But the thing is that they are not gross, they are subtle. Like for example, I mentioned the example here. Uh, if you say that this place, if you go to some place and you say that this place is the gold mine area, and but you are not able to see gold right now. But if you dig the ground, then you will find the gold. Same way, um, one may say that the three modes are acting, but how one will be experiencing three modes? One goes more deeper into knowledge, then he is able to see that this is goodness, this is passion, this is the ignorance. Just like the air is there, है ना? Air is not a concept. Air is a thing, है ना? The air, we can feel it, but we cannot see it. But it is subtle. That's why we cannot see, but we can experience it. Same way, the modes are there. The modes are existing. They are things. They exist. है ना? But how we can know about them? है ना? Because they are subtle. How we know about? है ना? The more we understand about the knowledge, we are able to discriminate. Okay, this is goodness, this is passion, this is ignorance. है ना? If our intellect focus our intellect to go deeper, then we may know about the modes. है ना? That's why most of the people get carried away by the modes, but only few intelligent people are able to see the modes, how they are acting. Like you find that some devotees, or you might have seen, all of us might be in the hostel in first year, and some of our roommate may be there who, like I can tell you, one of my roommate was there, and he would come in shoe and lie down in the shoe only in the bed, the same t-shirt, the same jeans, the same shoes. And next day morning he will get up and go with the same dress, same shoes to the college. But I would feel very pathetic. But he was very blissful. Why is blissful? Because he's in ignorance. So that's why the and I was living with him. So that time not much able to discuss. But now if somebody tells me to live with that kind of a fellow, we cannot live with such kind of fellows. Wow, because we are clearly able to discriminate. Oh, this is ignorance. I can't live. So that's why when the intellect goes deeper, then we can know more about we are able to see the modes actually. The more and more we become pure, we are able to see the modes, how they function. Okay, let us go ahead. Now the symptoms of each modes has been spoken here. How Sattva Guna, what is the symptoms of Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna? Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat Prakasa Prakasakam Anamayam Sukha Sangena Badanati Jnana Sangena Chanaga. Yes, somebody can read.
O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge.
Uh, so, so this mode of goodness is purer than others, and it is illuminating. And in this, somebody is in goodness, then he has either is freed from sinful reaction or he is less sinful. And that's why what he feels the sense of happiness. This is a material happiness. This is not a spiritual happiness. It's been taught. And he has the knowledge. It's not a spiritual knowledge, but he has the knowledge about that. Okay, this is the wrong thing. I should not do. This is the right thing. But the purport is very nice. I think we should read this whole purport. Some devotee can read this whole purport.
The living entities conditioned by material nature are of various types. One is happy, another is very active, and another is helpless. All these types of psychological manifestations are causes of the entity's conditioned status in nature. How they are differently conditioned is explained in this section of Bhagavad Gita. The mode of goodness is first considered. The effect of developing the mode of goodness in the material world is that one becomes wiser than those otherwise conditioned. A man in the whole of a man in the mode of goodness is not so much affected by material miseries and he has a sense of advancement in material knowledge. The representative type is the Brahmana, who is supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness. This sense of happiness is due to understanding that in the mode of goodness, one is more or less free from sinful reactions. Actually, in the Vedic literature, it is said that the mode of goodness means greater knowledge and a greater sense of happiness. The difficulty here is that when a living entity is situated in the mode of goodness, he becomes conditioned to feel that He is advanced in knowledge and is better than others. In this way, he becomes conditioned. Problem pride. The best examples are the scientist and the philosopher. Each is very proud of his knowledge, and because they generally improve their living condition, they feel a sort of material happiness. This sense of advanced happiness in conditioned life makes them bound by the mode of goodness of material nature. As such, they are attracted toward working in the mode of goodness, and as long as they have an attraction for working in that way, they have to take some type of body in the modes of nature. Thus, there is no likelihood of liberation or of being transferred to the spiritual world. Repeatedly, one may become a philosopher, a scientist, or a poet, and repeatedly become entangled in the same disadvantages of birth and death. But due to the illusion of the material energy, one thinks that that sort of life is pleasant.
Hmm. So what is there in mode of goodness? He is a less sinful, or he is a free from sinful reactions. And because you'll find the many of the people, no, they follow four regulatory principles also. They uh, uh, very clean. They are very pious. So they are, and you will be able to see many such kind of people, but they will not perform bhakti. So these kind of people are actually called in goodness. And, but they get, the problem is what they get captivated by the sukham what they are getting, and the jnanam, the discrimination power what they got by the knowledge. And, so they are captivated by that. And due to that, immediately the pride will be there. And they don't, and because of this, they don't, many of the time, they don't take up bhakti. You know. Now, let us see how it is, mode of goodness is relevant for all of us. Because we need to see for ourselves. You know. So, okay, let me ask all of you only how mode of goodness help us to advance in bhakti. Why it is very, very important for a devotee to come to mode of goodness. Yes.
हरे कृष्ण जी। तो जी आफ्टर कमिंग द मोड ऑफ गुडनेस हमारी जो डेली लाइफ है वो रेगुलेटेड हो जाती है, लाइक ईटिंग, स्लीपिंग, और इससे मतलब वो फेवरेबल भी है। अर्ली रेस्ट लेना, अर्ली उठना, और हमारा जो खाने का भी वो भी सात्विक।
Okay. Indra Nilpu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Like Sattva Guna is said as springboard by which from which we can jump to Vishuddha Sattva.
Yes. But here, according to the qualities of the Sattva Guna, how will you mention? How will you clarify that?
So when one goes in the mode of goodness,
Ah,
then he will the qualities of this mode is knowledge and happiness. So the
ah,
distractions he distractions get reduced for him. He will be able
ah.
to chant more nicely and
Exactly. They will be having the less sinful, he will not be committing sinful activities, and he will be having the discrimination about the basic things. That this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. So that clarity will be there. know. I think Abhishek Agrawal wanted to say something.
Yes, Prabhuji. I would think that if some person is in like passion or ignorance, then he will not able to listen the acharyas and the superiors. But if a
Mm,
person is in goodness, then he can able to take guidance from the acharyas and superiors and follow the process.
exactly. Otherwise, one's own thought process will be there. May I remember many of the time I would be giving some classes to some devotees. So one devotee I remember, I'm able to remember, when he's asking me question, and when I am answering his questions, he's preparing another question in the mind, which I am able to see. And, so then I asked, could you hear my answer? No, no, I have another question. But then I told that Prabhu, you are in so much passion, and first go and take some rest or be little peaceful. Then come and ask me question. And so this is called many of the all of us also may happen that we are too much into thinking. And or another thing happen like we know like without listening and we act. कितने लोगों के साथ हुआ है? Or in exam paper, all of you might have seen also. Without reading question properly, answered the question, and then later on you got to know that you did not read the question properly. Does it happen with anybody? Hmm. Okay,
Yes,
Indra
Prabhuji.
Nelpo is there.
Yes, Prabhuji, correct.
Uh, that is due to Rajoguna. And then how many of you seen that you went very peacefully for the exam and you first thought you read the questions, then you made a plan how you are going to answer all the questions, and then you started. That is called goodness in that sense. There is a peacefulness is there. But let me come to that thing which important thing is the Sukam and Jnanam is there. So that's why his clarity will be there. Because Jnana is there, so clarity is there. And, okay. Now another question is there somebody not in mode of goodness. And, then what is the problem as a devotee? I remember Nitabo.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there are so many problems. Like in his mode of Rajoguna, he will like did offense to devotee. मतलब उसका भाव नहीं है लेकिन फिर भी ऑफेंस हो जाएगा. और जो भी सेवा है उसमें हमेशा कुछ न कुछ कमियां निकलती रहेंगी ऐसे करके. उसके कारण
Right.
वो भक्ति में बहुत प्रगति नहीं कर पाएगा प्रभु.
So he will not be able to peacefully practice every aspect of Krishna consciousness, and he will become for everything we will become very much disturbed and may become offensive to other devotees. Now my question is the what is a problem with the mode of goodness? Those devotees who are in mode of goodness, what problem may come to in their life? Abhishek Agrawal ko.
Prabhuji, if the devotee is in model goodness, then he can become proud. Like I am doing good, I am clean, and I am following the process. तो वो devotee को proud feeling आ सकती है जिससे ultimately वो offenses feel करेगा और जो senior devotees हैं उनके प्रति अपराध कर सकता है.
Like one of the example can be that now you came to goodness and you are very sincere, very regulated. Every day, 4:30 to 8:30, you follow morning program very strictly, where you 4:30 to 6:30 you are chanting japa. And for 6-7 months you are following very sincerely, never miss one day also. And one day and senior devotee comes and or an equal devotee only comes. He is OC and he comes and tell that Prabhu, then we have a one urgent seva. Can you go for it? And then immediately what will come? No, I can't go. I have to do my japa. And so this is what is there. We became uh, addicted to mode of goodness. And, so that's how mode of goodness. Then it became very dangerous also. And, because over a period of time we become attached to the regulated lifestyle. It is very good, but we need to think that what is the higher principle is to follow the spiritual master or the senior devotees and the devotees instruction. It is coming and something is very urgent seva has to be done, and it is not every day coming. And how much my false ego uh, is reduced, that we need to see. And the devotee means humility, that we need. And devotee means he will be uh, able to understand that okay, this time This seva is very important. I should do this seva. But generally, what happen? We become proud of our. Or another thing, what may happen? Okay, we see that every day I am following very sincerely, and then what happen? We start finding fault with other devotees, and that's how we offensive mentality may come. Or another thing, that we may get a lot of success in our life, and we get success, then what happen? We may become proud that this success is due to me, and and that may lead to the offensive. So we need to what? So when pride is there, then we commit offenses, and then there is a fall down. What is the solution? Humility. How? The mood should be what? Whatever I am achieving in devotional service by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, so I should not take credit. And we should give credit to Guru and Krishna. So whatever services we are performing, we have to have this mood. Even if we have come to goodness, Anna, we need to understand that this is because of Vaishnavas are there, devotees are there, and I'm inspired by seeing these devotees, and devotees are teaching, and that's how uh, we are able to improve in our life. So let us go ahead. What is the qualities of Rajoguna? Rajo ragatmakam viddhi Krishna Sangha samudbhavam Tannibadnati Kaunteya Karma Sangena Dehinam. Read someone.
The mode of passion is one of unlimited desires and longings. O son of Kunti, because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive action. The mode of
Yeah.
passion is characterized by the attraction between man and woman. Woman has attraction for man and man has attraction for woman. This is called the mode of passion. And when the mode of passion is increased, one develops the hankering for material enjoyment. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. For sense gratification, a man in the mode of passion wants some honor in society or in the nation, and he wants to have a happy family with nice children, wife, and house. These are the products of the mode of passion. As long as one is hankering after these things, he has to work very hard. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that he becomes associated with the fruits of his activities and thus becomes bound by such activities. In order to please his wife, children, and society, and to keep up his prestige, one has to work. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in the mode of passion. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of mode of passion.
Yeah, don't read that bracket one. Read the last
One
formally.
does one doesn't Formerly the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion?
The Srila Prabhupada is telling about that mode of passions is characterized by the attraction between Sangha and attraction by the man and woman and ragatmakam. Ragatmakam means attraction. And yes, Vishwanath Thakur is describing here that know that Rajoguna consists of attraction. And when one does not obtain one's desired objects, one develops desire, Trishna. Trishna means hankering. So when one does not get one desired object, then what happens? His hankering develops. He wants. You know. When one obtains one's object, then what happens? One develops attachment. You know. So these are the two effects of the Rajoguna. So till the time the object is not there, hankering will be very strong. And once you get the object, then you get one become attached to that object. One can't leave them. You know. So Prabhupada is speaking about man-woman attraction. Like some boy is there. So initially, a boy is looking for some girl, He will be hankering for, and for that he will be making so many attempts. And once he get that woman, then what happened? He become very attached. And later on, when she leaves, then he cannot. Then he commits suicide. Many of the cases, like we see the case of Purura. So he became so attached that later on, when she leaves, his life became completely pathetic. Mangal Thakur also, they became very attached. And so much so that it, and even his Mangal Thakur's father's that the Samskar was there, but he did not go for that, but he went to Chintamani, right, because became very attached. This is the Rajoguna. Right. So that's why Krishna says, Kamesa, Krodesa, Rajoguna, Samudbhava. Is Sangha. Krishna and Sangha both comes from Rajoguna. In our life, how it is relevant? When this desire for hankering for some material object is increasing, it means what? The Rajoguna is increasing. Rajoguna is very strong in me. And attachment is becoming very strong for certain things, then Rajoguna is there. Or other way around, when Rajoguna is very strong, so it becomes very difficult for all of us to hear transcendental knowledge. It is very difficult to follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. So one generally follow his own things. Because he become hazy in his consciousness. And if one become hazy, then one goes crazy. And most of the time happens with, like many of the time we get seva and we immediately do the seva, then later on we get to know that array I did not thought properly about it. And if I could have planned properly, my seva would have become more better. I could have been more effective. But as a devotee, we say that many of the time because that uh, because not being in Sattva being in so much of the Rajoguna, what our actions goes in different directions. And when the result is later on, then different result comes, result does not come properly, then we get to know that actually my action was not proper. Like better I should have planned properly initially. And yes, now next, tamastva ag. 1 minute, yes, anything is remaining from here. Next is tamastva agyanajam vidi mohanam sarvadehinam pramad alasya nidra tannibhadrati bharata. So tama, this mode of ignorance is born of tamo guna is born of ignorance, and it is produced the mohanam. You know, so tamoguna is coming from tamoguna only one sense in ignorance because the whole creation begins from the ignorance, and then the things are divided into sattoguna, rajoguna, tamoguna. You know? So somebody may ask this question that how tamoguna se tamoguna aa raha hai. Yes, tamoguna may come. Uh, like how we can understand this? This, like we say that all the animals are in ignorance, all the human beings are in passion, right? And all the demigods are in goodness, right? But in animals, we say that cow is in goodness. So cow is in, yes, as an animal category, all the animals are in ignorance. But then when you go more detail, now ignorance plus goodness, ignorance plus passion, and ignorance plus ignorance. Getting. So then again, if we go in category of animals, then what is there? Cows are in goodness, tigers are in passion, then uh, the jackals and all that, they are in ignorance. And when I was thinking about it, somewhere, nowhere is written exactly how Tamoguna born from ignorance, but I was feeling that it's coming. Whole creation begins from ignorance, and then the three guna is coming from that Satoguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. And so Tamoguna is also is a born of ignorance. What is the effect of Tamoguna? Mohanam. Mohanam sarvadehinam. And all living entity get bewildered. And how the symptoms, what is the symptoms of that? We can recognize this is Tamoguna. Three symptoms. Pramada, Alasya, and Nidra. Now somebody may tell that what is this Pramad, Alasya, Nidra? And so Prabhupada is writing here, the mode of ignorance is just the opposite of mode of goodness. So sometimes both may look similar in one sense. So mode of ignorance is but just opposite. In the mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, one can understand what is what, but in mode of ignorance is the just opposite. It means he does not know what is what. He does not know things as they are. So which Prabhupada is writing here in Pramada. What is a Pramada? Pramada means pagalpan. क्या पागलपन है? The under the spell of ignorance, one cannot understand things as it is. It means what? What is the meaning of not seeing the things as it is? Yes, somebody can tell. What does it? How do you understand this? Seeing things as it is, which Prabhupada books many times it comes. Seeing the things as it is. With example, anybody like to explain this?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Ah,
Just like means when one is in mode of ignorance, he will not be able to like have the clarity about the situation. For example, many a times Prabhupada tells that they are creating United Nations and they are giving the this slogan of brotherhood, universal brotherhood. But how can be there be universal brotherhood without a central goal, or as you told previously, without a universal fatherhood? So if there will not be goal, everyone will be very selfish about their own motives. So they are not
hmm,
able to see this situation, and they are just taking meetings after meetings, and there are no solutions about anything.
hmm,
So they
right.
are not addressing the real problem.
Okay. Right. So you are telling about that bodily concept of life is very strong, which in ignorance, which people are not able to see things as it is. That is. Yes, Mohit, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one example also Prabhupada gives, the example of slaughterhouse, where the gods are going to slaughter, but the previous gods, they are waiting and they are eating grass, and they are not understanding that हमारा number भी आएगा. तो ये
Ah,
example भी
exactly. So they do not understand that my number will also come. है ना? It means what? They are mm, not seeing thing as it is means what is engrossed with bodily concept of life. है ना? And another way what he is not able to see according to Shastra. So there are called three kind of chaksus are there. There is called charma chaksu, jnana chaksu, prema chaksu. आपको बताया किसी ने ये प्रीवियसली डिस्कस हुआ है इनके बारे में?
Yes, Prabhu.
11th chapter I think Arupu might have discussed.
Yes, Prabhuji.
हाँ. So when in pramada one is seeing everything according to charma chaksu, है ना? But in good elevated position one sees through the jnana chaksu. Seeing thing as it is means what? Seeing things by jnana means shastra chaksu. Guru sadhu shastra according to that. And like one time what happened? One person did the murder. है ना? So then court case happened upon him. He was brought in the court, and then just declared that he is the mad, and that's why he has done the murder. But then still, the doctor who was present there, the doctor told, yes, just up, he is a mad. But let me tell you, everybody in this world is somewhat mad. And nobody is there who is not mad. So हर कोई, everybody is mad into what we see, the sense gratification or the doing the thing. So because everybody does things in their own way, so everybody is mad. So that is the mother, what we say, the madness. So pramada means what? The not seeing the things as it is. And then next is alasya. Alasya means what? So Prabhupada is defining that they are very reluctant to make advancement in spiritual understanding. And because of madness, in their madness, they are very reluctant to make advancement. Because they do not see the things as it is, and due to that, what happens? And they're very lazy. And like sometimes you tell somebody, first year student, that, okay, how much time it take to chant 2 rounds? You will start. He will tell, no, no, Prabhuji. He will YouTube and other things he may speak. He may sleep for the 15 hours, but he will not chant 2 rounds. And such people are very lazy. And then Nidra. So Prabhupada defines the Nidra means that is sleeps more than required. 6 hours of sleep is sufficient, but a man in mode of ignorance sleep at least 10 or 12 hours a day. And such person is dejected and addicted to intoxicant and sleep. The- So ignorance, what it does is covers the knowledge and it is opposed to the mode of goodness. Yeah. So now we have discussed about symptoms of all the three guna, goodness, passion, and ignorance. So it is very important for all of, after studying all three, that coming to goodness is very, very important for all of us. So uh, we have to see that coming to goodness, that generally two aspects we have to take care, which I'm telling into one of the lecture of Radhesham Prabhu. So he says that if you want to become daks in spiritual life, then two aspects has to be taken care. The first, that you become daks in what? Your basic lifestyle. Eating, sleeping, meeting, depending. And for that, you have to become daks. And when you and with that, another level of daksa means what? Uh, expert means what? You become expert into or daks into dealing with other people. And so we have to come to in goodness by taking care of these aspects. One is our lifestyle, in which everything, eating, sleeping, meeting, depending on what cleanliness and everything comes. And dealing, and second is dealing. If somebody may be very expert into the basic regulated lifestyle, but is not good in dealing and is behaving very harshly, then again his life will be completely disturbed. And, so that's why these both things are very, very important. Okay, let us go ahead. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati raja karmani bharata jnanam avritya tu tama brahmade sanjayati uta. So now Krishna is telling okay, how these three binds a living entity. So sattvam sukhe sanjayate. Sattva in sattva guna, one become conditioned by happiness. Raja Karmani Bharata and Rajoguna will become conditioned by 40 actions because he is hankering, he wants to fulfill all his desire, so that he endeavors for that very strongly. And Tama, है ना, his knowledge get covered. He become binds by madness. This. A person in mode of goodness satisfied by his work or intellectual pursuit. A person in mode of passion may be engaged in the fruity activity. He owns as much as he can and he spends for the good cause. तो पैशन में पर्सन क्या करता है, तो पहले अपने को जितना चाहिए वो सब के लिए वो मेहनत करता है, और देन वंस ही गेट वॉट एवर ही नीडेड more and more, then later on then you use for the other good causes like opening hospital, giving charity and all that. Then an example Prabhupada is giving for goodness is philosophers, scientists. They are more of a, they are satisfied by their work or intellectual pursuits. So they are more of a, not after the results, but more of a work. They are happy to do their work. And then ignorance, whatever one does is for him or not for anyone. So he does not do good for himself and others also. Like you see, Bangladesh case was there. So those people, they were the way they acted. That was neither good for them and not good for others also. They killed so many people. They harassed so many people. And the whole country has become pathetic. And so they are only going to suffer. But in ignorance, one cannot see that. So what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, he says that Jiva who is attached to the happiness he has received from his actions. See happiness, the Sattva what happen when become attached to the happiness, वो happiness कहाँ से आता है? By performing the action. कर्म कर रहा है तो उस कर्म करने में जो सुख होता है, he become attached to that. Rajoguna is become attached to the actions he performs. And Tamoguna, so Jiva who is inattentive to his work and produces ignorance in him. And Baldev Vidyabhushan says that any one of the guna become prominent, that is spread everywhere, and that become prominent. Now let us go ahead identifying the modes dominating us by their principal characteristic. So here in sloka number 10, Rajastamascha vibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata rajasattvam tamascheva tamasattvam rajastata. Yes, somebody can read.
Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance, O son of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy.
Read this highlighted one.
Although there are these three modes of material nature, if one is determined, he can be blessed by the mode of goodness, and by transcending the mode of goodness, he can be situated in pure goodness, which is called the Vasudev state, a state in which one can understand the signs of God.
So when I was reading this, many times I read Bhagavad Gita, but specifically this chapter. But this time, when I read this Prabhupada line, I struck me very much is what? If one is determined, he can be blessed by mode of goodness. And it means what? You are again and again endeavoring to come to goodness. And goodness means, I told you that two aspects is what that's becoming that's into our lifestyle and that's into our living. And so, but determination is required. The constant conscious endeavor is required for coming to that. So for that, how it will happen? We need to reflect our work, our thoughts, our words and actions again and again. है ना? Like that, for example, I gave this class. So immediately I can reflect back. How was my mood? है ना? With what thought process I gave, and how was my words? है ना? And when devotee is asking questions, how is my response? So like that, we should be little reflective, and then we can see where of all places I need to make changes. है ना? So then, if we are determined in that way, then we will be able to come to goodness. Like for example, basic eating, sleeping also. Today I eat, मैंने आज बहुत ज़्यादा खा लिया, है ना? आज today's एकादशी anyhow. If any other day you will eat so much, then later on at least we should have this reflection. अरे, है ना? I committed this mistake, but next time how I can be very careful. That's why Papa is telling, if you are determined, then you can be blessed. But if we are not determined, so then we will remain in ignorance only. That change will not come. Yeah. Vishwanath Chak Thakur says, with regards to their respective effects, how do the gunas arise? When Rajas and Tamas are eclipsed, Sattva appears. It appears because these two become invisible. Thus, Rajoguna appears from the eclipse of Sattva and Tamas appears from eclipse of Sattva and Rajas. But Baldev Vidyabhushan says, when the three gunas are equal, how can one of them suddenly become prominent? ऐसा कैसे हो गया कि एक prominent हो गया एक समय पे, है ना? तो वो कैसे होता है? तो उसको बहुत अच्छे से बलदेव विद्याभूषण बताते हैं. द नेचर ऑफ गुणास इज दैट दे अपीयर एंड डिसअपीयर अकॉर्डिंग टू ऑपरेशन एंड एग्जॉशन ऑफ ओल्ड कर्मास. मीन्स व्हाट, कि आपके पूर्व कर्मा के अनुसार आपको इस सिचुएशन में गुस्सा होना था, अब तो गुस्सा अंदर आ रहा है है ना? तो दैट टाइम द रजोगुण हैज बिकम वेरी स्ट्रांग नाउ, है ना? तो दैट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम वेयर? पूर्व कर्मा, है ना? दैट योर रजस इज इंक्रीजिंग. नाउ इट इज अप टू यू हाउ यू वांट टू एक्ट, है ना? If we are attentive and careful, then we will not act according to the rajas and tamas which is appearing due to our purva karma. And we may tolerate and we may thoughtfully. We have to, in our life, the situation may be there due to our past karma. But right now we have a choice how to act in that situation. But that is our choice has been given by the law. So that's how. The one appear how? So because of purva karma, the operation or exertion of old karmas. Now next, so now 11, 12, 13, I think we will end it here only. 11, 12, 13, then 11 onwards, he will be telling that uh, how one can experience the mode of goodness and passion and ignorance. So in the goodness, what happen? All the bodily or gates of the body get illuminated by the knowledge. Then you feel a sense of happiness in all the gates, and eyes, ears, and everything. And in the passion, then we will see that how the sort of great attachment, fruity activity, and intense desire there. Then in ignorance, darkness, madness, and illusion. How one experiences these three modes, that we will be seeing next class. And so this is the 10 to 13 is identifying the most dominating us by their principal character. Okay. Anyone has any question? One question. Okay. Yes, Hiranand Mehta.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी, हम एक वर्ष में पढ़ रहे थे वो रजोगुण वाले में कि कैसे उसका मेन की वो वोमेन्स और मेंस का अट्रैक्शन है. लेकिन प्रभु जी मैं कंपनी में गया था प्रभु जी 3-4 महीने के लिए, तो वहां पर हम लोग जब कंपनी में जाते थे तो वहां पर कुछ अट्रैक्शन नहीं रहता था। पूरा रजोगुण, कंपनी तो पूरा रजोगुण से है, पूरा कारखाना वैसा। तो वहाँ एक भी फीलिंग नहीं आता था, ये अट्रैक्शन नहीं आता था ऐसे करके कि जैसे बाहर निकलते थे तो वो वैसा रहता था। तो कैसे इसको समझ सकते हैं प्रजी? कंपनी तो पूरा रजोगुण ही है प्रजी।
देखो, आप मेनी टाइम यू गो टू कंपनीज, यू मे फाइंड हाईली क्लीन, है ना, एवरीथिंग ऑन द डिसिप्लिन वे डन, है ना। तो वो क्या, रजोगुण और तमोगुण के अंदर गुडनेस है। द बेसिक थिंग इज व्हाट, रजोगुण एंड तमोगुण, है ना। एंड externally it may look to be goodness, है ना, but that is actually, you will be able to see our by symptoms that that is a ignorance actually, है ना। It what we say, uh, that will may be there, है ना। So what is your question is that that certain time, you are telling that that certain time the rajoguna is not there, right? No, so that's what we
यस।
read, no. Particular time, particular mode is become prominent. One time one mode become prominent, another time another mode become prominent, another time another mode become, you know. So later on it will come. It is our choice also that how uh, we want to be getting now. So although atmosphere may be rajoguna, but if one is careful, then he may not get affected by it. है ना? तो
हाँ, हाँ प्रजी, हो सकता है ऐसा, पर परहैप्स की मतलब हम अलर्ट हैं तो नहीं, लेकिन वो जैसे ये जो लास्ट ये अट्रैक्शन रजगुण से आ रहा है, तो अगर देखें तो पूरा कंपनी ही पूरा रजगुण से है। तो वहां पर तो और ज्यादा अट्रैक्शन या फिर ये सारी चीज इम्प्रूवमेंट होना चाहिए, लेकिन ड्यूरिंग मतलब अगर कंपनी के दौरान वो सारी चीजें एकदम से माइंड से चली जाती हैं। तो उसको कैसे
because
बोले?
the see rajoguna does not mean just see, I'm just thinking about it. Rajoguna does not mean just man woman attraction only. Rajoguna means what? The hankering for the sense object. So they have a desire to get results. They are very past active. They want to do all activities very properly. Everything should be very proper so that they get the results. Is it not? So that is there or not?
यस सर, इसका तो पूरा पूरा 100%, पूरा
So
कंपनी
that
जोर जोर से लगी रहती।
so that is Rajoguna. है ना? Getting, and with that there may be possibility that the no woman is there, but the strong desire of get fulfilling their desires is there, or what we say, the getting the object, the hankering. You go to the root word sang and trishna. Trishna means strong hankering for the getting the results, and and becoming attached to the results. So competitive environment, you can see so strong it is. That is Rajoguna. Yes, Mayank, Manipur.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि मतलब किसी पर्टिकुलर मूड में रहने का ये एक फ्री चॉइस जैसे हो गया फिर तो, मतलब कि हम जिस मूड में चाहें उस मूड में रह सकते हैं, अगर उस मूड की एक्टिविटी परफॉर्म करें जो उस मतलब हमको उसमें एलिवेट कर दे, जैसे सुबह उठ के।
हाँ, ये चीज हमको सॉल्यूशन व्हेन वी गो फर्दर वी विल स्टडी अबाउट इट, इट्स व्हेन द सॉल्यूशन एट द लास्ट लॉर्ड इज गिविंग, so we'll talk about this. He, we all have a choice to remain in it because Lord has given us free will, has given us choice, है ना। So
यस प्रभु जी।
if we come to knowledge, then we can understand that okay, this is the Sattva and I should determine to live in Sattva. Otherwise living entity is just a condition, na, है ना। He does not have
यस
a
प्रभु जी।
choice to come to Sattva, then he cannot go to the spiritual world also. In one sense. Yeah. But God has given the free will that you can come to. हाँ, due to your पूर्व कर्मा the effect may come. but you have a choice to act upon according to that or not. है ना? If you have got this knowledge, then you can,
Yes,
and
please.
it become easier, है ना? अभी है कि हाँ फ्री विल अभी उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं हुआ है, तो उस केस में इजियर क्या हो जाता है कि इन्वायरमेंट जितना अच्छा है, मोड ऑफ गुडनेस का है, तो हम लोग इजीली उसके अनुसार ढल जाते हैं, है ना? एंड
Yes,
व्हेन
please.
we go in passion, then we get carried away by passion also. So generally, then devotee, we try to keep ourselves in goodness, and when we keep ourselves in goodness, we develop um, knowledge more and more. Or what we develop, we get more and more clarity. Our free will become more uh, exercise in one sense, and then we are able to then see this is Rajaguna. I should not go into it. So once you get a taste for goodness, then you are very careful that okay, this Rajaguna I should not, because so much misery comes in Rajaguna. I do not want those all suffering.
यस प्लीज। गुरु जी, अगर बात करते करते कोई टॉपिक चेंज कर दे तो वो मोड ऑफ पैशन में होता है ना? अगर कोई सामने वाला कुछ बात कर रहा है और अचानक से टॉपिक्स बदल रहा है, मतलब मोड ऑफ पैशन में है ना?
हाँ, बट वाई इज चेंजिंग टॉपिक्स, वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है है ना?
यस प्लीज।
तो एक्चुअली हर जगह पे हमको इतना कैलकुलेट नहीं करना है है ना? तो our whole direction will change. We have to remain okay. अभी वो गुडनेस में बात कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है अभी वो पैशन में बात कर रहा है, तो हमारा बहुत एनालिटिकल हो जाएगा. We have to say I need to be peaceful in mind so that I can perform bhakti. That's why the whole thing.
यस प्लीज।
The Moguna will be very disturbed and it will be difficult for performing them. Yes, Asis Maribu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Hmm.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, generally, uh, when I chant, तो generally जब आसपास थोड़ा ध्यान जाता है तो कभी कभी ऐसा भी दिखता है कि जो बाकी devotees है somehow they are dozing, maybe under the influence of ignorance or what kind of thing, whatever the reason may be.
They
तो
are
उससे
dosing in
judging
what?
mentality
Japa.
yes, Prabhuji, in chanting or especially like Prabhuji in Bhagavatam classes going on, then some devotees like maybe just दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग, तो उससे जजिंग मेंटेलिटी लाइक वो आता है एक चीज। और तो उसमें प्रोची फिर हमको कैसे देखना चाहिए उनको, क्योंकि अगर ये तो लाइक मेंटल ऑफेंस हो गया उनके प्रति। और दूसरा चीज प्रोची, अगर मैं खुद ऐसे कर रहा हूँ मतलब समहाउ मतलब कभी कभी अगर ऐसा हो जा रहा है तो फिर मुझको उसको कैसे देखना चाहिए, ये दो क्वेश्चन प्रोची।
Other devotees are sleeping in a japa and we are seeing. And then we need to understand that we can see many things, है ना? That he is a sincere devotee, is coming for morning program, है ना? Every day is coming, है ना? Okay, he's feeling sleepy in the japa. Might have sleep not be proper in the night time, or some work might be there. To late night he could have gone. है ना? So like that we can see, and it how we will see that we will not become proud. So we should see that I also have a lot of anarthas, and I also am I not sleep in japa? Am I perfect in japa? No, getting. So when we focus on our anarthas, our weaknesses, then we'll be able to see that devotee is at least he does not have the problem which I have. He is so good in that sense. Uh, He is better than me. All another way how you can think, although he is sleeping in a japa, although he might be hearing one mantra only, and after the 1 month hearing one mantra also is so good. I am hearing all mantras very nicely and very carefully chanting, but still I am so rascal.
ईश्वरी।
Uh, So like that, if we think about ourselves, then it can be, because anything you do, the pride